everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Conversations Are My Thing. It is your host, Trinity Jackson. I just had a major malfunction with my microphone, so we kind of had to make it work today. But if I sound a little weird, don't be surprised. We're just trying not to make excuses, okay? First things first, I want to get into something that happened this last week and what it's kind of meant for me, and then why I miss therapy, why I ever went to therapy, things like that. So it's going to be like a personal, transparent type episode, but stick with me. So one thing about me is obviously I'm a very happy person. Like, I am a joy to be around. Honestly, like, all the teachers used to put that on my report card. A joy to have in class. Just always smiling, laughter, da-da-da-da. But of course, like any normal human being, there are things that like annoy me slightly on a daily basis. And more than anything else, I get annoyed and angry with myself about very little things, and I give myself very little room for error when I want things to go my way or when I want to accomplish something. So I can have tendencies to be a little bit harder on myself than I would be on other people. Let's put it like that. So within this last week, there have been little things that have been annoying me, not only through like the outside world, but also in myself. Like, I have really been struggling with my sleep for a while now. Like, at this point, it's almost been a month of I can't go to sleep when I lay my head down, and it takes me a long time to be able to fall asleep. And when your sleep's not right, it makes your mornings really like late. So I was going to sleep late, waking up late, and I was mad at myself because I was like, oh my gosh, like, your day feels so unproductive because you're not doing anything. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're wasting so much time. So every day that would happen, I would get a little bit angry with myself, and I would get a little bit more annoyed. And then other little things would happen, like I wouldn't go grocery shopping. And then you should have been put the clothes away. You should have been done this. You should have been done this. Like, why are you not doing the things that you know you need to do? And this is what I would be telling myself. It's like, why are you not doing the things you know you need to be doing? You're embarrassing yourself. You're going to ruin your life. I don't take it, like, there's really no in between. Either I'm at a point in my life or at a point in my day where I'm giving myself so much grace. Oh my gosh, you're such an amazing person. You're going to do great things in the world. You're going to impact so many lives and so much spread your positivity, your joy, your information. There are other days where I'm like, if you don't do what you need to do, you're simply going to ruin your life. And you're going to end up being a nobody. And you're going to live with all this regret. And you're going to be so upset that you never did the things that you said you were going to do. That's it. It's either I'm here and I'm Mrs. Self-Love, Mrs. Positivity with myself, or I'm like my own personal coach, where it's like I have to be real that it's like, okay, you're gonna ruin your life. That's it, Trini. You're gonna ruin your life. That's it. This is like how it starts. Your habits, you can't change your life until you change what you do every single day. And every single day, it doesn't seem like you're doing what you need to be doing. And this is how people ruin their lives, and that seems to be what you're looking to do. All right? So I was having more of those days and more of those moments. It never lasts all. It would never be an all-day thing. But I was having more of those moments than the uplifting flowers, butterflies, honey, bees. I was having more of those than others. So I was like, okay, I'm slightly getting more annoyed with myself. So it all comes down to one night, and I'm just scrolling on TikTok, and I'm getting mad at myself because I know I should be doing something else. I know I should be editing a video. I know I should be planning my day for tomorrow. I know I should be going live or doing something. I know I should be doing anything but mindlessly doom scrolling on this app. But for some reason, the more anger I give myself for doing it, the more I cannot stop myself from doing it. You know, one thing I know to be true, but I still do, is that like getting angry at yourself for not doing the thing that you know you need to be doing actually doesn't make you want to do it anymore. It is only when I give myself the grace of, look, I understand that happened, it's okay, but you can still make this better decision today, and you're not going to ruin your life going forward, that I'm actually able to make the change. However, it's easier said than done. So I'm doom scrolling on TikTok, and it's had to be like 10 p.m. So at this point, I'm already used to not being able to go to sleep. I already know that I'm not going to be able to lay my head down, so I might as well just scroll on this app and do nothing else. So I'm scrolling on TikTok, and I'm getting annoyed with myself. I said, oh, you're wasting your time. I'm in my kind of like my negative self-talk loop. So you're wasting your time. You're wasting so much time right now. I can't believe you're doing this. You could be doing anything else. Like how you're, things like that. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, Trinity. I'll get up and go do something. I'll go to the gym, right? There's a new gym that's 24 hours. I said, I'll go there. So I'm headed over there, but I'm like not in the mood to go work out. Nothing in me wants to actually work out. I just know I need to do something more than I was doing at the moment. And I was just sad. Like, I was super sad because I wasn't performing at a level that I had expected of myself. And I kind of like guilted myself and be like, okay, go do something, please. And I was like, all right, I'll go to the gym. So I'm sad going to the gym. Pulling up to this new gym, it's 24 hours. And it's like really new, or it's really popular. So there's like all these people there. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I'm annoyed. So I said, oh my gosh, like all these people are here. Why are all these people here at 10 p.m.? It's literally 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Why, like, does nobody work anymore? So I'm mad and I'm annoyed. So I'm sitting in the car, getting ready to go inside. I have my camera with me. I'm like, okay, I'll record some content and I'll say that. And I'll use that as a good reason for me to get out. Like, how do I focus on content? I had a camera. I'm looking at the camera. I was like, bro, I don't feel like recording. Like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to even be here. So I definitely don't want to try to, I don't want to push this energy off on anybody else because this is not me. This is not me. This is the dark side of me that I really need to take more control of. So I'm like, I don't want to record. I was just like, bro, no. I'm just going to put the camera under the seat. I don't want to bring the tripod in. I just want to go in, put my headphones in, put my head down, and do something. Right? So I go upstairs. And I have my headphones in. And you know how it is. Whenever you're sad, it's not enough to just be sad in the moment. That's never enough. You need something to push you a little bit deeper into your feelings. You need to be pushed deeper into your emotions. You kind of want to be shoved in the sadness, all right? So I'm looking at my songs I usually play, and I'm like, I don't want to hear any of this upbeat, fun shit. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to hear something that's going to bring me to the brink of tears. So I'm playing like some old, I'm playing like some Broadway, like relationship type music, which this has nothing to do with me not being in a relationship. Honestly, who knows though? Maybe it all comes back. I'm no therapist, but I'm listening to some Rod Wave and some other really sad songs, like just super sad. And I go up to the outdoor like exercise area, and I'm jump roping to some sad music, like just looking up at the moon. Like you would think I'm in some type of soap opera the way I'm just like. But I was really just deep in like my emotions. So I finished jump roping. I didn't really care. I didn't like get a sweat. I was like, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. So I'm gonna do something else. Like literally, that was the only thing that moved me from one place to another. Like I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna do something else. Okay, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go do something else. So I finished jump roping, and I swear, this all has a point. Just stay with me here. So I go inside, and all the machine. It feels like every machine that I want to do is taken. Oh my God! So now I'm annoyed again. I'm listening to my sad music. I can't even form a smile. I don't want to. I put my hood on. I look at the floor and I find a squat rack. Mind you, I have not done back squats in weeks. I have a weak lower back. I just don't do back squats anymore. That's why I always do the V squat. If you don't go to the gym, that's cool. I don't want to even I'm about to go do a workout that I literally don't even do anymore. I haven't done in weeks. I know this, and I know this information. So I go over to the squat rack, and I'm sitting there. I'm swinging my legs and stretching them out or whatever, and doing my stretches, with no energy, with no vibe, nothing. Like I did not want to be there. Everything in my body and on my face said I do not want to be here right now, but I'm here, so I might as well do something. So I was gonna start with a 45 because in the past when I was ready to squat, I would just start with 45s because I know for a fact that I can squat 45 for reps, right? But I was like, I'll just do I think I did 25s. So I don't even know. Like, the plates are colored, so I do the yellow plate. So I'm pretty sure it's like 25, or it's 25. Either way, it's not 45. I know it's not as heavy as I usually rep out. It's not even as heavy as I'm used to. But it has been weeks since I've done this. But I get up there and I do my first set. And I'm like, I do it. I set the bar down. And then I sit down. And I was like, that was terrible. So I continue, like, it's like, as I said, it's like a negative. It's a cycle. So it's like there's only one way this ends. I'm gonna explain to you how it ends. But there's nothing that can bring me out of this right now other than me. So I'm like, now I'm upset because of my performance on the squats. So I do one set. That's it. I don't even give myself another chance. I just take the weights off, and as I'm unwrapping the last side, I'm getting so mad at myself because like, wow, you really came in here, you barely jump roped. You barely squat, and now you're about to like, now what are you gonna do? Oh my gosh. And saying it out loud, I know, and it sounds, I'm being so honest. Like, this is literally what was happening. And I just couldn't escape it. I was just like, and I could feel, as I said, there's only one way for this to end. And the way this happens is that over time, I will have little things bother me. Just little things. It's never really, like, I don't really have, like, I'm blessed to say that there haven't been really too many major instances where I was just extremely upset that I just couldn't get over it, you know? So little things will bother me over time. I just don't talk to anybody about it. I journal often. However, my journal does not have the ability to talk back to me. So I just always put my things in a journal, or I'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. And then they slowly build up to moments like these. So this wasn't like a one-time thing. It's something that had built up over like maybe a week or maybe even a month. Who knows? Because it had been a while since I had a catharsis. And a catharsis is basically a big release of emotion, right? It had been a while since I had a really good catharsis. So I'm unracking the last weight, and I could feel my throat tightening up. And I said, oh my gosh, now you're about to cry in the gym. Look at you. And even that one, I still was just mad. I was like just so annoyed with myself. I said, oh my gosh, now you're about to cry in the gym. You haven't even done anything here. Now you're unracking your weights. People are going to watch you walk away. They're like, oh my God, what's the point of her even being here? Even mind you, no one is ever really worried about you. But in this moment, I can't help it. So now, before I'm running, I'm like speed racing, hoping no one stops me and tries to talk to me. Because since I do make a lot of fitness videos, oftentimes, like if I am at a gym, a new gym, especially a gym like that, like people would like stop to just like to tell me that they watch my videos. Nothing crazy. So I'm, oh my gosh, like I really hope no one stops me as I am literally about to burst into tears. So I'm hightailing it. Like I'm like, let me get downstairs. I go downstairs. I go to the women's restroom. I said, let me just go sit in the sauna, and I can just like sit in there and sweat and cry. Literally, I can just sweat and cry in the sauna. Whole time I'm still listening to Rod Wave in the headphones. I'm still listening to some sad music. And this turns out that now I get to the sauna's broken. And I literally looked at the mirror and I said, of course. The sauna is broken. But I said, you know what? Maybe that's perfect. I go in there anyways, because if it's broken, no one's going to come in there. And I'm sitting there with my Rod Wave playing in my headphones, and I'm just crying. And not like you would think something had just happened. I couldn't even pinpoint an exact reason at that moment why I was crying. And I didn't want to stop crying. Like I said, catharsis is like a release of emotion. It felt like I probably needed to cry. And I just cried. And I cried in there. And then eventually I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do anything in this gym. Let me leave. That night, I ended up just driving around, like taking a nighttime drive with my windows down, continuing to play sad music, crying. Crying. Yeah, that's all it was. Crying. What's that song? If you know the song I'm talking about, drop it in the comments. But anyways, I'm crying until I end up going to my roof, and I'm playing Rod Wave on the roof, and I'm sitting up on my roof, and I'm still crying, and I'm looking up at the skyline, and I'm just like, you know, it always comes down to me just wanting more out of myself. That's really all it ever is. Just knowing that, like, I have such big dreams and such a big goal and such a big vision of what I want my life to be, that any day that I feel I'm not performing and not doing what I need to do, I feel like it's kind of like a slap in the face to the things that I want to do. So I just, that's usually what it comes down to. And the whole time, mind you, I've been so proud of other things that I've accomplished in my life that I didn't think I was going to be able to, even having an apartment, even being able to make the money I've been making thus far, and things have been going well in my life. I've been making progress. Things have been going well, but that's still never enough. 1 or 2 days or 4, it doesn't matter. So basically that all happened because I let small moments of annoyance and dissatisfaction and anger and frustration build up inside of me to the point where when I got to that squat rack and I didn't do what I normally do and I couldn't move the weight the way I normally move it, tears. There's nothing else I could do about that. So what I'm here to say is, and then what this made me realize is one major thing. I need to go back to therapy. That's what it made me realize. Because as I said, I write these things in my journal when I'm slightly frustrated or annoyed, but my journal does not have the ability to talk back to me. I went to therapy last year. Honestly, maybe it was almost 2 years ago now, and I had an amazing therapist named Veronica. I only went to therapy because I knew someone who was going to therapy, and they kept talking about it, and I said, okay, If you're going to therapy, I should go to therapy. I was actually I literally didn't have much that I thought I even had to talk about. Like, I was doing the things, I was doing the personal development, I'm exercising regularly, I'm journaling, I'm meditating. I said, I'm really on my shit right now. But I'm going to go to a therapist because I think my mind is a great investment. That's really like what it came down to. I feel like my mind is always a good investment. So if this is something that can help my mind and my process, let's do it. So I meet my therapist on day one, Veronica. We're talking, and she had asked me, I don't even know how we came to the situation. I don't even know how we came to this. But that day, my brother had said the right thing at the wrong time to make me so sad and angry, like only a sibling could. And I hadn't told anyone. I actually hadn't said anything about it. I didn't say anything to him about it. I didn't say anything. And literally the same day, I just didn't even say anything, which is honestly the problem. I'll have things that really annoy me happen, and I'll be like, okay, whatever, without ever verbalizing how it made me feel. So we're talking about the thing that happened, and since I had never said it out loud, I didn't realize exactly how sad and mad it made me. So I'm explaining to Veronica what happened, and I am literally forming the words, and I hear myself choking up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then next thing you know, our first call, I'm breaking down in tears, right? And then honestly, it's crazy because now I've told 2 stories, and both of them include me having one little moment break me down in tears. But it's honestly because I don't talk about these things to people. So when I was talking, I was honestly surprised to be crying on the call with Veronica, because I'm like, Trinity, you just met this woman. Can we wait till the 4th or 5th call? But I could not hold it in. But I didn't realize how mad it made me because I didn't talk to anybody about it. And that's what made me realize that day that I need to go to therapy again. Because there are things that I need to talk about that I don't realize how much they're bothering me under the surface. And I'm not saying anything or really displaying it in any way, but it's really making me mad under the surface, and I'm really dissatisfied with these certain things. And the longer I go without addressing it, we're gonna have these big bursts of emotions over very, very minimal things, and it's kind of like an iceberg. People see, honestly, I like the iceberg concept because you have this big iceberg below the surface, and you have this tiny thing on top. So people will see this tiny little issue, like you're mad, you're really crying in the gym because you couldn't squat. No. I'm crying in the gym because the last month I haven't gotten enough sleep, and I've been waking up late. And since I've been waking up late, I've been less productive. Since I've been less productive, I haven't been making as much progress. And since I haven't been making as much progress, I feel like I'm failing my future self on the goals that I have. So that's why I'm crying in the gym. But what set me off was not being able to squat. And that's where therapy would come in for me, essentially having someone I can talk to. I am a really good listener for the people that I love. And I can always say that that's a skill and a quality that I have that not a lot of people do have. And listening is a skill set. However, I do not expect my friends to listen to me the way I listen to them, which is, I don't really think that's a problem. I think that everybody should have a therapist. I think therapy should be very much normalized. I shouldn't depend on my friends to be my therapist. That is not their job. That is not what they are here for. We are here to be cool. We are here to go to yoga together. We are here to hit the gym. We are here to take trips and walk our dogs and do the little cute friend stuff together and have nice moments where we can talk about deep things. But it wasn't until I got a therapist that I realized that there are certain things that I only wanted to talk about with Veronica. Things would happen to make me so frustrated and so annoyed, and I really didn't see the point in even reacting at that moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk to Veronica about this. The one thing I love that Veronica always did is she would let me rant. She would let me go and go and go. She would let me spill out everything, and she would take her notes and things like that, but she would never cut me off. If I'm in the middle of a thought, if I'm in the middle of explaining myself or telling her why I'm so mad and I'm crying and blubbering tears or whatever, she would have never cut me off to say, wait, what is or maybe you should. The advice always came after. Or she would ask more. She would always ask more questions about the things that I brought up. Things that I really didn't think were a big deal because she's a therapist and she knows what is relevant to be discussed. So she's over here asking me, well, you mentioned da-da-da-da. what did you mean by that? I'm like, oof, I'm glad you asked. That's a good point. Boom, boom, boom. You know? And the thing is, I stopped going to therapy, honestly, for no reason. I don't even recall the reason. Because I really didn't have a reason to go. So it's not like I was working through something big to where I stopped going. The gym and therapy are very similar. You will never get to a point where you are going to the gym consistently for months and months. You get the body of your dreams, and you're like, okay, well, I'm done going. I've pretty much done it for the rest of my life. I don't need to work out anymore. I don't need to stretch anymore. I've achieved what I needed to achieve, and I'm done going to the gym. Because you have to maintain the body you've now built. Now you have to maintain the lifestyle. You have to still eat healthy. You still have to go on walks and stretch your body and go to the gym. You're not just done, ever. And I now understand that therapy is really the same way, in my opinion, for me. I think, I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I'm like, you know what, I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm fine. I solved this one problem. And that's the only problem I plan to have in my entire life. So I don't plan to have any more problems to talk about. And we're just going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I didn't realize that when I stopped going to therapy initially. When I stopped going to therapy initially, I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm pretty cool on it. And I was like, what? I don't even know how old I was. I feel like it had to have been when I was 21. And I've matured since then. I've been growing. I grow a lot. You should be growing year to year. But I'm like, dang, I'm at a point where even after what happened those few days ago, I'm like, I could have handled that so much better. I should have handled that so much better. Why did that situation seem so big? And the situation wasn't big. It's because if you continue to let little things build up without really talking to anybody about it. And I journal. I'm a big advocate for journaling, but there are certain things that just seem like you just need to tell another person. And the best thing about having a therapist is that just feel like someone you can trust. Like Veronica, I was only getting closer and closer and closer with her. I was only divulging more and more of my personal life. And there were even journal entries where I would be writing something in the journal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to tell Veronica about this. I can't wait to tell her how this happened, whether it was good or bad. It was better than any. It was like having a great friend. We didn't like that. All you do is talk about you, because sometimes all you want to do is talk about yourself. It's not selfish. Sometimes you just don't want someone to cut in and tell you about how, oh yeah, that same thing happened to me, and oh, I remember when I da-da-da, and oh, this is happening in my life, so now you gotta compare whose life is worse, and da-da-da-da. No. I know that the best thing about therapy for me was that no one was ever trying to cut me off and tell me about, oh, well, this happened to me, and this happened to da-da-da. I am here to talk about Trinity Jackson. It's not selfish. It's not rude. It just is what it is. But everybody should have designated time where they can be the center of attention, where they can have 100% focus on their problems, on the things that they're working towards, on the things that they've been thinking, and things that they're worried about. Because if you continue to have people cut you off and da-da-da, eventually you just stop even trying to interject. Like, okay, just go ahead and tell me. Yep, and then now they're dumping all their stuff on you, and you're just like, oh, that sounds pretty terrible. Even Veronica told me this. Like, everyone needs a therapist. Like, your goal is not to be your best friend's therapist. Your best friend needs a therapist. My goal is not to be anyone's therapist. Go get one. I'm about to go get another one. So that's really the concept. You can't replace it. I feel like just having a great, deep conversation isn't the same. I want to know that from the beginning to the end of this hour, we are talking about Trinity Jackson, what's going on in Trinity Jackson's life, how we can help Trinity Jackson, and what Trinity Jackson needs to be doing to improve Trinity Jackson's future. I don't want to hear about how you are so sick because you failed a test. It's not even that I don't care. That's why I know it's not selfish. It's not that I don't care about when people bring these things to me and want to talk about these things. It's like, oh my gosh, but like, can I say something too? We may not be going through the same thing, but I'm going through something. So can I talk about it without you trying to interject and without you giving me your advice and your opinions? And she also, oh my gosh, and the thing is, Veronica has left the practice I used to go to, so I have to now do a manhunt to find her again. But she always gave me such great advice, and one of the great things I remember she said one time is, whenever you're about to go listen to people and they're about to give you, like, when they're about to dump all this information on you and tell you about how their boyfriend cheated on them with their mom's sister or whatever the case may be, before they start, ask them, okay, do you want me to just listen to you? Like, do you want me to just listen? Do you want me to give you advice? Because sometimes, and I feel like if more people did that, sometimes I just really want to be listened to. Like, I really don't care about your advice. I really don't kind of want to hear what you have to say, but I want to tell somebody these things, you know? So it's like, before people start dumping information on you and telling you about how their day was so terrible, you should ask them, before we get into this, like, do you actually want me to give you advice right now, or do you want to just feel heard in this situation? And then you can sit there quietly and just nod your head and actively listen, and they'll be like, oh, thank you for listening. That's it. So I'm excited I have emailed the facility where I was receiving therapy previously, and I let them know that I am ready to start taking appointments again. I said, I need to come back. Like, I need a new therapist. And it's going to be weird to kind of like break open into a new person. So, but I just don't want to wait. I don't want to waste time. I want to go in person because I was doing it previously online, but you shouldn't wait until things are absolutely terrible to start seeking solutions. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Prepare for things to upset you. Prepare to be presented things in life that you weren't expecting. Going to therapy for me is like preparing my mind for the fact that I'm going to do things that are going to upset me, but I can give myself grace and find different ways to solve them, so I don't have to get to the point where everything builds up inside and I have a massive release of emotions, when in reality, if I dealt with everything as it came, I wouldn't have as many problems as it seems I have. That is all. So I really hope this is your sign to go to therapy. Don't let people trick you out of your spot. Therapy is perfectly fine for any and everybody who needs it. More people should be going, literally. So I want to thank you all for watching, for listening to me. I really appreciate it. Make sure, if you're listening on the podcast, go to the YouTube, check me out. It's just Trinity Jackson's on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, go to the podcast. Conversations Are My Thing, wherever you get your podcasts. And it will be linked in the description below. I want to thank you all for listening, watching, taking time with me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and leave a rating. Mwah!